Understand this only. Using the legal name is fraud. Now, make the efforts to understand that, and that's all explained on caveofguy.wordpress.com in excruciating detail, and so is the anagogic to bring people as to why it is spiritually. Otherwise, we keep going in this physical loop. Mark has done some beautiful work. One of the very few people that, actually, when Mark went off into the respellings of words, that was my doing. I kind of kicked him in that direction, and he went nuts with it. So I get it. I mean, I've known Mark for years, and I'm in complete agreement with you. What you're actually saying is what's on the loveovermind.wordpress.com site. I haven't added anything to that because there's enough legalese stuff, wordplay to show all of this stuff as to what the courts, and by all means. I just figured I'd save people the absolute bother and just give them the nuts and bolts. It's a very simple process. Understand in your mind and heart that we all got duped. Get over that. Then understand that any use of the legal name is pure and utter fraud, and it has you enslaved spiritually to literally the Narmer palette curse. Then take your steps from there. So I'm only going to agree with you 100%.
Okay, I was going to ask you, in the real world there, when these people have to go to court, which they should never do in the first place, but when they do go, they're threatened. If you don't claim the name, we're going to arrest you. What do they do in that situation? That's why I get asked the most.
Well, it's really easy. They just need to get the concept. This is why it's so difficult for me to convey this, because it is so blindingly simple. Once you get the concept that anything attached to that name is pure fraud, and you know this straight to the core of yourself, you'll know that you won't have to go to court. I'm the first one to tell you. I have got enough paperwork in the caveofguy.wordpress site that if people truly read it and truly grasped it, they wouldn't have to even think about going to court, because the name is the contract that can only be grabbed at the police level. This is what I've been trying to really illustrate to people. They have no need to do that. So all these people need to do is not do legal homework and all the rest of it. That's what's going to keep them in the spiral going down. For me, it's just understand what and who they are. And this is the oil and water game, baby. You are oil, not water. So I'm agreeing with you again. So whatever it takes, my friend, to get the word out, yes.
Kate, this is wonderful.
I just want to help people get there without having to say, well, you have to walk away from everything in one step.
I didn't say that. Okay, let me clarify
I know that, but
I know. Okay.
I know you didn't say that, but that's what people think, and
right.
I want to get past that blockade because I want more people to join us like you do.
I realize that. It's the fear and the physical. I'm totally with you on that, and that's exactly my point. You don't have to do everything. That's what ego does. It wants it all now. That's the drive-through truth stuff.
That's it. That's the false ID.
Pure ego.
That's the false ID everyone's carrying around, and then they're complaining about a driver's license. I'm like, check the false ID that's propping that one up. That's your ego. There's your false ID.
I was thinking about this earlier.
They stopped pulling me over once I sent them a cease and desist order. I haven't seen them since.
Well, do you know who you are? Do you know that using the name is fraud, and that the contract is a fraudulent contract on a spiritual level? Do you know that? Because yes, I'll tell you, I don't care what you send. Then you can send them a go fuck yourself letter, for all I care. If you know what you're talking about in your heart, then you can send them. Well, you've seen my Have a Nice Day essays. You've seen the notices that I've sent to the cops and everything else. And I have fun with it because I know who I am. So, yeah, cease and desist. Because you understand the phonics. You've been around the table for a while, yeah?
Yep.
So you understand. Now you've given me a perfect illustration of knowing thyself, and you can use whatever paperwork you want. But you got to know who you are, and that's all I'm interested in. And that's what's really the focus on my website, to get people over that hurdle. And what they do from there is just making the intent. Again, this is not about taking all of your ID out and throwing it away. Yes, I'd love for people to do that, but they have to know who they are. Otherwise, they're going to leave themselves vulnerable to the parasites because they've taken too big a step without being ready for it. Right?
Yes.
So I'm right on page with you here, and you're absolutely correct. Okay?
Okay. All right, so let's have someone else say something. I'll just sit back here for a while.
And
Okay,
thank you for that.
You're
I
welcome.
was thinking about this earlier, right? When I was taking a shit, funnily enough. Sitting on the throne thinking, right, what the fuck has this system got to offer? Seriously, think about it. What is the lure? What is the allure of it, right? You work all your life, right, on a death pledge mortgage, right, to pay off this fucking house that you then have to sell when you're going into a fucking nursing home to pay for your fucking care. What do you get out of it? Seriously, what the fuck? What's the lure?
Here's the best part. The death certificate, which is a birth certificate, excuse me, you can find this stuff out online. I did. I've shared this on many occasions. But there's a monetary value to the death certificate. So not only do they cash out on the birth bond, but there's also a lot of insurance is taken out against the name on the death certificate. So these guys are packing it in on the front and the back end, and everyone is walking around thinking it's okay. I don't. Sorry. That's just the way I am.
It's crazy.
It is.
When you step back and look at it, what are you working for? What are you doing? What are you doing?
You're working for a spiritual master. It's time to take that power back. That's all I'm saying. And it's so
pay
blinding.
that house up.
Yeah. Why would you pay for something that a bank didn't build? I don't know about you, but I've never seen a carpenter's apron on the Duke of Edinburgh or the fucking Pope. No, they live in the castles that we built for them, fools. You know, it really is that mind-numbing. It's nuts.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, that was just the layman's perspective.
Well,
that was taking
that was perfect. Yeah, exactly. You're taking a dump, and that pure truth is dumped out. Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's the irony of it. That is the irony of it, because people that think they want to keep their homes and their cars and their children and everything else, they gave them away anyway. So what have you got to lose? Nothing that you already haven't given. I want people to understand this so it can't be taken from them. And once you know the core issue, which is the name, the Narmer Palette curse, the name is the game. That is it. The cop comes up to you. Here's how to get out of the system. Cop comes up to you, and you don't have to. Even if there's plates on the car, VINs, and all the rest of it, they can't do anything until they get a contract with you. Mm-hmm. Because until they get jurisdiction over you by you consenting to be that dead legal fiction, they have nothing. If for those in Canada that want proof of it, or anywhere in the world, you can look up Section 33.3 of the Ontario Highway Traffic Act. It's the one that they don't talk about. It's the one that says all you got to do is utter the name. If there's even an assumed or presumed connection, this is what I talked to Art about, that kept the Goonies at bay. This is a guy in his own home that stopped paying a mortgage because he found out the fraud and had played his own legal thing up to that point. And I talked to him on the day after the sheriff showed up, but there was still an inkling that he might still think that he's the name, and there might be just something there of a contract, because the sheriff threw the stuff down on the ground, then walked away from it, and then came back, picked it up, and put it on his door. Because when Art answered, I talked to Art about this. When Art answered the door, he'd asked for the all caps legal name, and Art said, "Well, no, that's a legal fiction," and blah blah blah. It's not me. But see, there's still assumption in that you might think it's you because it is a legal name.
Yeah.
So what I told him to say, the simple answer is this: are you so and so? No. Have a nice day. Close the door. And when he did that, the sheriff turned, tucked tail and turned, and the 6 Goonies that he brought with him didn't even set foot on his land. That's how powerful that moment was. Art's untouchable. He knows who he is. And anyone that knows this, are you the legal name? No. Is that difficult? That means a bailiff or a cop can't even come up to anyone's house. I don't care what manner of legal documents get fired to an open mailbox that says, "I accept all contracts." You might want to change your mind on what your mailbox is, and that's all you got to do. No, I accept no more contracts. Whether the mailbox is there or not, I don't give a shit. That's physical effect. I just changed that intent in my heart, and it's done. That's the power you wield. It is that easy. Well, wait a minute, Kate. That sounds like Harry Potter land. Yes, it is. Welcome to Oz. Welcome to your true nature. Welcome to that which was veiled and hidden from you.